Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to this week's WB Mason Coaches Report with Hofstra's head field hockey coach, Courtney Veinotte. Courtney, how are you doing today?
We're doing well, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. You finally had your first home game of the spring season, however you want to call this season. Unfortunately, it was a 2-1 defeat to Monmouth. Why don't you walk me through your thoughts following that game?
Yeah, very well fought game by both teams. An absolute battle. I was happy that our crew got on the scoreboard first. And held out the second half. It got a little emotional and hectic in the third, and trying to get us settled down. Ultimately, great growth shown by our program from opening weekend, which was 2 weeks ago, to now. Our play and our philosophies are coming together, and so exciting field hockey game, very back and forth. Both teams had great opportunities around the cage, and ultimately, Monmouth capitalized on their two.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was a good energy game from both teams. And
Yes.
especially not having played in a week, it can be tough to get that energy ready, or even to go a little overboard with the
Yeah.
energy. But it was nice to see the team bring a good amount of energy into that game, especially around in the second quarter, right before halftime. Yasmine Verduz, she scored her first goal of the year, first goal for Hofstra of the
Yes.
year. You talked about in your post game press conference about how we should expect more from Yasmine this year, and for her entire Hofstra career. So what did it mean for you? Looking back at the film, how she scored that goal on the rebound. Like how does that how does that kind of showcase her game for Hofstra?
Yeah. Ultimately, she's a very fast, speedy player. So actually, the goal is created by her speed on that right baseline. She created the circle entry for herself, got into a good scoring position, placed a ball at net that was initially, saved, and had the fast hands to pick it up and get something back at net. And she is going to be a fun player to watch. She's crafty. Her speed brings a different element to our forward line. So it will be fun to follow her along, not only her freshman year but her career here and how she develops. But yeah, very exciting. Happy for her to kind of break the ice there. Sometimes, as a first year, getting used to the style of the NCAA and the competition, and I'm happy it was on our home turf.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that made her goal that much more special. It's one thing to score a goal, your first goal of the season. It's another for it to be your first career goal. And then it's even another thing for it to be the home opener for that to happen.
Yeah.
You talk about, first years adjusting to the NCAA style of play. Does that change, or does her being an international student also kind of add to that transition?
Yeah, I'm sure. We hear from our internationals often after their first year, kind of after they get to reflect on their first year and what the adjustments were really like. So there's an adjustment to any level. I think the U.S. game is a little bit more physical than sometimes the international style at their club's level, and so adjusting to that, and even just the style of practicing every day and preparing for matches, and it's a different system and how many games you're playing in such a short period of time. And so those first years, it does take them a little while to adjust, as anybody joining a new team, right? Like even learning the styles and who their connections are with on field, and um, systems. So it is settling down. It's fun to see us growing, and those first years that are on the turf. They are settling in, but we also have a lot of veterans playing new positions. Juna Slort is playing the center back position. Last year she was in the midfield, so she's got a big role change there and trying to adjust and grow. So it's fun. We are settling down and we are adjusting, and we are getting attacking opportunities. And Monmouth is a very strong team. So we battled really hard. Unfortunately, it just didn't fall our way yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to Monmouth, to come back from 1-0 down and then make two goals in that third quarter. The first goal, that was a rocket right past Merline. For as good as Merline is, I don't know how much could have been done on that because
Yeah.
we heard that slap from the press box. There
Yeah.
was power behind that shot.
Yeah, and Merlina almost had a toe on it.
She
She
did,
was about an inch away watching the film. I played it back. I was like, gosh, she's got extremely fast flexibility, and extremely fast reaction time. And I mean, she was close. She read that ball and she was close to getting a toe on that save.
yeah. Well, that's that's something I like about Merlin. It's one thing to have good positioning, good hand-eye coordination as a goalkeeper, but it's another thing to have those quick reflexes. And I think
Yeah.
that that's going to serve her well both this year and and beyond for Hofstra.
Yep.
Kind of looking ahead now, you taking on Wagner this Friday, and then at home against Sacred Heart. How do you balance, preparing for two opponents in the same week?
Yeah. That's a good question. We're gonna take it one game at a time. So we have basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of practice to kind of settle some things down and see what we can improve on in our own game. And we'll get after some film on Thursday of Wagner, and Saturday we'll focus on Sacred Heart. So just trying to go game by game here, and ultimately right now we're in a mode of just trying to focus on us and improve us. So we'll handle Wagner prep on Thursday, but couple days of just trying to get Hofstra field hockey better.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Self improvement and then focusing on your opponent. Have you had a chance to look at anything on Wagner or Sacred Heart leading into those games?
No, actually, so we're with us being fortunate and getting to play some out of conference season here. Neither opponent has played yet this season, and so it's an awkward trying to prepare, and as much as I am a film guru here, it's a time to kind of settle and reflect and just kind of put together what we can week by week, and uh almost just try and grow us and do us here, and play the style we're trying to play. So no, Wagner's going to be, we don't have any 2021 film. We can only throw it back to 2019 and get a feel of their last couple games there. But
Hmm. Yeah, I think I find that interesting. Hofstra has been the season opener. You were the season opener for Monmouth. You're going to be the season opener for Wagner. You're going to be the season opener for Sacred Heart. Do you feel that starting the season as early as you did against Temple and UConn, do you think that gives you some like a kind of an edge over your opponents?
if you would have asked me that 4 weeks ago, I would have said yes. And then February is a little bit tough with some snow.
Hmm.
So, I think that we're still very much trying to play catch up a little bit with being on our turf and getting in, Astro practices. And um, I yes, it is ultimately an advantage. The gameplay is crucial, and getting to play these matches is going to be not only important for this upcoming weekend, but important for conference play and getting as confident as possible for that conference play. So, every game right now it matters. It's going to add up, and every little tweak and kind of step we can take towards progress of growth, I think that will put us in a great position for mid March and April play, and hopefully that conference tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. This I think this transcends sports. There's a difference between being getting that practice experience and then the game experience. So it
Yeah.
is I do feel it is an advantage for you guys to have been starting because you've gotten those first game jitters out of the way, and your opponents Wagner and Sacred Heart they may not have. So you got
Yeah.
the edge on them in that area.
Yeah, and just even reflecting from opening weekend and not playing in what 15 months to this second weekend against Monmouth here is our first half was very poised, and we came out confident, and where the game got away from us was that next layer of trying to continue the tempo and problem solve when things are changed at halftime against us, and whatnot. So we are seeing growth. I was very, very happy with our first half, where in Temple and UConn, it was actually the flip flop. The first half was a little bit hectic. And we kind of settled into that second half and putting together better field hockey. So it was a good progression for the weekend. I'm hoping we can carry over this upcoming weekend and put together two strong halves and get some wins under our belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Continuing that momentum from the first half into the second half. That's something I feel that teams learn how to do the more they play. So I definitely have confidence in your team and and you and the staff of being able to carry that momentum for an entire 4 quarter or potentially overtime game. Who knows?
Well, thanks, Nick. I appreciate that.
Oh, well, no problem. So it's going to be this Friday, March 5th at Wagner at 3 p.m., followed by a home game this Sunday, at 1 p.m. against Sacred Heart. You can follow all of Hofstra field hockey action on gohofstra.com. For head coach Courtney Veinotte, I am Nick Captos, and thank you for joining us for this week's WB Mason Coaches Report.